Hello, everybody. I'm Last of the 813s. So, I had recently received some very saddening information. And the saddest part of it is that I received it really late. And how I received it is even more sadder. But there used to be a YouTuber here by the name of the Raging Queen of Battle. And for those of you who don't know, that was Great American Mom's husband. And he has passed away. And, Gam, I'm truly sorry for your loss. I'm at a loss for words, really. Nobody should ever have to go through that. And, I truly send my condolences to you and everybody in your family. How I found out about it is really upsetting, though. I found out about it through, well, somebody was trolling Great American Mom. Well, not really Great American Mom, but they were trolling her passed away husband. And then they blamed it on myself and Annie and some other person. And I want to say 100% coming from me. It's been 10 years since I've been on here, and this is obviously news enough for me to come out and tell everybody after 10 years. That was not me. That was not Annie. We did not do that. I had trolled in the past, and I can understand where people would come and say that it was me or it was Annie. We did troll people. So I can only speak for myself. I really can't speak for all the others. And I'm so sorry about the audio. You're going to be hearing an air conditioner turn on and off, and everybody's going to be hearing animals. I've got a dog, I've got a cat. They're going to be doing things. But I did troll people. It started out as lighthearted fun, and then it just escalated more and more. And the prime example I can give, because it's the one example everybody wants to hear about, is Make Electric. And him and I have since long put this behind us, and we have been in chat rooms together before within the last 7 years, talking about how we did put it behind us. But it did get excessive. It did get out of control. There was a lot of things said that shouldn't have been said, but tempers were flared amongst, just two people having at it. Like I said, I can't speak for the rest of everybody else. I can only speak for myself. There is other people I have trolled, the Show Me Baby, and, I did troll Dr. Descent, and I poked some fun at Monograph, and Monty knows that. And Monty, you are looking good still, man. You've really, the last 10 years have been good to you. I've also been accused over the years of trolling people I haven't trolled. And it's starting to fall into place a little bit, especially after talking to UK Troll tonight. I can start to understand why myself and Annie have been at the top of the list for everybody. And I know, look at me, I'm balding. See, Monty, the years were good to you, my friend, not to the rest of us. But like I was saying, I'm starting to understand now why it's happening. It just, there's still that piece missing of who. So I was accused of trolling Von Helton, and that was absolutely not true. I've gone over and looked at Von Helton's stuff and been like, that this is, I'm just gonna flat say it. It was too easy. The man essentially trolls himself. It's, how do you put this? The world doesn't need to know 90% of the information that you give out, and he gave it out. And so, why bother? Well, my name was brought up in a lawsuit against him, but I never heard anything from it. So it must have been during discovery that it was dropped. Like I said, it never reached me. I'd only eventually heard about it about 9 or 10 years later. It's like, oh, okay, well, Von Helton tried to sue me. Never heard anything about it. But I got to looking around, and you see it a lot, where Katie was accused of doing a lot of other stuff, and she wasn't. It wasn't her, but she was accused of it. They would go. Somebody would, whoever this was, would go do this, and say, "Oh, it was Katie," and then they'll go do this over here, whether it was to Katie herself, or to Great American Mom, or to anybody else, and say, "Oh, it was Annie and Mike." Now, when I first saw the news about Great American Mom's husband passing away, the story that came across really looked like it was a random person. And it wasn't until tonight I actually found out that it was Great American Mom, and that's really what started the gears turning. Well, it's the same people over and over and over again. It's Great American Mom, it's Katie, it's UK Troll, and it just keeps going in a circle. The same people. There was a time when the Bubba Effect and it was a bad project where we thought we could kind of work together to do more than working apart and fighting each other. And that's where UK Troll and Chang come in. And even tonight, UK Troll, she even said she thought it was odd that it really seemed like we were all friends, and he was wanting to be against us. He was wanting her to troll us. Well, the same goes the other direction. He would bring us information and stuff and say, "Oh, this is this person. This is UK Troll." And he gave us this image and a name of a woman who looked to be about 20 something years old. We'll come to find out that was UK Troll's daughter. And that was not our crowning moment. We were actually extremely upset about that. And we let the Bubba Effect know. We didn't really want to hear any more intel or any information from him again. That was almost looking back at it now, it was deliberate. Looking back on it then, we were like, it was just, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. It's bad info. Looking back on it, it was deliberate. So, with that little preempt of the story kind of out of the way, once I heard the news about what had happened to Great American Mom, I wanted to reach out to everybody. I did do it in probably not the best way, but I knew if I jumped out and said, hey, I'm last of the 813s, let's talk, it was going to incite Troll War 3. And so I made a specific screen name, and I said a lot of certain things to start to draw everybody together and to start piecing together, okay, this person is this person is that. Because I haven't been around in 10 years. But I know a lot of you. You all know a lot of me. And so we could kind of decipher who's who, who's what. Now I understand why I wasn't able to get a hold of Great American Mom, because it wasn't until literally like an hour or two ago I found out that that was Great American Mom in that video. So UK Troll and I decided that we were going to have private discussion, and we contacted each other on Facebook, so we know it's each other. She knows she could contact me physically through my name, and I talked to her physically through her name. And in talking, we get to talking about all the other people that have been around in the past. I mean, we did talk about other things. Like I said, the whole trolling her daughter, which was a huge mistake on our part. We should have really dug and scratched a little bit more at the information that was given to us. But now looking back, hopefully you could kind of see what had happened in that situation and where it came from. Well, we got to talking about Bubba the Shill, aka Crotch Vomit. So when I used to run around with Bubba the Shill, she was at the time an older woman. She was at the time, and mind you, this is 10 years ago, she's about the same age I am now. I'm 36, and I think then she was about 40-ish. Right in there somewhere. She was about 40. And we would actually talk to her on Skype, you know, and I would talk to 1010 on Skype, and I would hear these people's voices all the time. And we all got to know each other. I knew that in the wintertime when it got cold, Bubba the Shill and her husband, and yes, it was a her, would leave the Spokane, Idaho, you know, the Coeur d'Alene area for the winter and go down and spend the winter somewhere a little warmer. And about springtime, they would come back. They would plant their gardens, and they would harvest their gardens and stuff and spend the summer up there. And they'd travel. And I'd heard this woman's voice a million times. And I never recorded them because there was no reason to ever record them. And looking back over the years, I really wish I did. Just so I could have this sample to say, this was her. Well, as we started hanging out with the Bubba Effect, they did start to hone in on who she was. And then she disappeared. But supposedly, my dog is snoring. Not supposedly, he really is. So the reason given to us was that, well, we're kind of hanging with the Bubba Effect now, and I wanted to dump that name. So I went back to Crotch Vomit and all sorts of other stuff, yada, yada, yada. Well, tonight when I'm talking to UK Troll, and this is where I feel like a fool. I had the wool pulled over my eyes as well. And hopefully everybody else could see this too, where the wool's being pulled over everybody's eyes. She sends me an audio clip. So I know I made a mistake here, and I caught it during the editing process of trying to line up the audio with the video. But it was not UK Troll. It was UK Troll shared the audio with me, and I'm trying to piece all this together with my notes while presenting this in a video. But it was Crotch Vomit, or supposedly Crotch Vomit, or whoever, somebody under the Crotch Vomit name saying, hey, this is Crotch Vomit, and so forth. I just want to clarify that. That was a mistake on my end by sort of rushing through this part of the video, trying to really get my point across. That was supposed to be a UK troll saying, oh yeah, hey, it's me, I'm Crotch Vomit, and me and Annie White, we've done this and we've done that. And when I'm listening to this voice, I just stop the recording and I message UK Troll and I said, that's not Bubba the Shill. That's not KV. That's not Crotch Vomit. That's not her. And we did this little dance back and forth for a minute. And then it dawned on me. Bubba the Shill had taken off. And nobody knew where she went to. This other person came in. And then I started digging around and looking at videos. And I seen things where they said that Crotch Vomit and the Bubba Effect were like something to do working with each other. Now this is all, I don't know. But I see where somehow this person knows the Bubba Effect and all this other stuff. So it slowly starts to make sense that this individual, this person, is going out and trolling everybody in this same circle of people. And this expands to everybody. And I'm telling you, all to Von Helton, to Monograph, to anybody else in this corner of YouTube that is still getting trolled, it is this one person, or maybe two, it's this little bit of people. And what they're doing is they're doing all this trolling, and then they go over here to these other people, such as, UK Troll and all these other people, because they know they're relentless. We're not here to defend ourselves, and they say these people have done it. Whether they're blaming Katie, or they're blaming Annie, or myself, or whoever. And so hopefully everybody, let's just stop for a second. Look around at everything we've been told. Think back at everything we know of that has happened the last 10 years. And think back before that. What happened before those 10 years? Who were the same players within everything? And look at all the things that are happening. It's all the same people being attacked and then blamed on other people. Myself and Annie are extremely easy targets. By self-admittance, our names are known. And our names were never really hidden to begin with. When Annie first started her YouTube channel, it was called Annie L. White. And this was back about 2005, 2006. And then when I started, about 2007, 2008-ish, somewhere in there. It's been forever ago. All right, that's a long time. You look back and, well, everybody already knew who I was. When I had the name Anon User, I couldn't just walk into a chat room to hang out with Annie and everybody and they say, oh, here's a troll coming in, kick him instantly. Wait a minute, I'm Annie's husband, it's me, Mike. Everybody knew. There was times when everybody was trying to figure out who I was, and a man by the name of Big C 082 or 28 or whatever was just running in the chat like, dude, Last of the 813s is Mike's husband or Annie's husband. Same thing with the Anon user account. Everybody knew. I mean, we could go back as far as Maynard sat. Whenever we would all be in chat rooms and she would be co-hosting Maynard doing some thing and I'd be in the background waving. And I think at one time I pulled down my pants and flashed my ass on the camera. Everybody already knew who I was. So we became very easy targets. We became extremely easy because we have names. Everybody else's name is pretty much hearsay. Same thing with Katie. It became abundantly clear that that's actually who she is, and so they run with it. And I say they as a broad term. They, it could be one person, it could be two, it could be six, it could be, we don't know. And that's why I really want to work with everybody to kind of figure this out. Because I kind of see, you know, this could be a problem that everybody else is having. This could be a problem that Von Helting is having, where somebody's trolling him and feeding him full of false information, and then it doesn't follow through for what he needs. Same thing with Monograph. You got Monograph that's got cases against people, but we don't want, I say we, but what you don't want to have happen is people fall down the wrong rabbit hole and is all of a sudden digging up Katie and everybody else for stuff that they didn't actually do. I'll be the first one to admit, yes, I did troll MK Electric. But what's been going on now is just far beyond that. Far beyond that. There was times that, you know, some of our children got involved in it. And I feel extremely bad for that because, like I said, that was bad information given to me. And I look at it and say, fuck, man. How could I let that happen? How could I look at that and say, well, where'd you get this? How do we know this is true? How do we know this? How do we know that? And we didn't. And we poked at it for a second until it became clear, oh shit, and we backed out. It's a problem. And I think we all seriously need to work together to put an end to it. You know, and I'm not saying viciously. I'm saying all of us are all smart enough to come together and say, hey, look, let's be methodical, analytical adults and really look at everything and say, why? We need to know why first, and then the who can come later. It's been happening to me and Annie for 10 years. It's been happening to Katie for 10 years. Who's next? They essentially already know, and they have known who UK Troll is. And they've already, whoever, and I keep saying they, trust me, it could be one person, it could be many. Continually, they'll start doing the same. And they already have. She's already told me where she's been gone for 3 years, come back and find pictures of dead relatives and stuff all over YouTube about her. But it all keeps circling back to all of us. And I think we all need to work together to figure it out. We all have the tools. We all have the same contacts in our arsenal to go through and figure this out. And for once, put some peace in all of our lives. I'm last of the 813s. And I want to thank everybody truly from the bottom of my heart for listening to what I have to say. And hopefully from now on, we can come together with some civil discussion and get to the bottom of everything. I'm going to reach out to Annie and have Annie come out on a little video and explain her stuff civilly too. And hopefully we can all move forward. Good night. So after recording all this, I decided to kind of go back and dig up my old drive and look through it. And I did find the original video where Bubba the Shill, and I'm not sure if that was the original Bubba the Shill account or one of the other ones that came subsequent after it from being flagged down, posted the video attacking Gam where everybody tried to decipher that and tweak the audio to see who it was. And that was the one where it did point towards it being Annie and everything else. So really towards everybody, I'm going to post that video, the original video in its entirety that I have it in. And usually with me, I see a video, I just download the whole thing. And I know I talked about never having her voice. This may well very be her original voice, and it could very well be this other person who has come in to impersonate her. But I am going to post this, and everybody can have a listen and a look. And maybe we can come up with something on this. But like I've said before, it just keeps circling around to the same people. I just happen to be digging through a drive and looking, and I seen I had a folder marked Bubba the Shill, and I opened it up, and the only video I have inside of it is this video. So bear with me, and I'm going to get that up for everybody. Thank you again.